going through school, I was bullied because of special education, and I took that to heart. A lot of anger. I didn't know how to deal with that, didn't want to give it to the Lord. I always thought my way was the right way. And as I got older, I thought the right way to get through things was to justify violence with violence. When I got to high school, I seen people getting bullied around me all the time, and I just felt like I had to do something. So I was beating people up to try to protect those that couldn't protect themselves. For justification, I thought I was doing the right thing. But before I know it, it got really real. I had people coming up to me asking for help about being raped and molested, abused by family members, things like that. And trying to take that on at 16, 17-year-old, you don't know what you got yourself into. And before I knew it, I was trying to deal with those things. And that's when I took my first painkiller. And from there, I was hooked. It was like immediately. The first painkiller was just down the road. I couldn't look back. I was stealing them from my mother, actually. And then from there, it just kept getting worse. And the abuse just kept getting worse. Me not knowing what addiction was at an early age, using it all through high school. It was so bad. Sometimes I was passing out in classes because I was using so much to try to cover up the pain and the hurt. Depression became a really big thing. I was still trying to fight through it. I ended up meeting a girl I was with. We were together for a while. We started using. It was horrible. I mean, the cycle never stopped, and it kept getting worse. Last year, I got in an argument about my dad about using drugs, and I just said I couldn't take it anymore, and I left. It was me, my fiance, and my dog living in a car, and it was in the middle of the winter, January, negative 30 degrees outside. Just thinking, what are we gonna do? Thinking, I didn't think we were gonna make it. I mean, we're so cold some of those nights. It was scary, and then the only thing I was thinking about is my next use. I mean, just being in your usage, your mindset's not right. So what you're thinking is not what you're supposed to be thinking. That's for sure. Because you're not supposed to be living in your car when it's negative 30 out in the middle of January with a dog and your fiance. And it was tearing me up inside. But the using was so strong that I didn't want to give it up. I wasn't ready yet. So after I got back home, I said, okay, I'm really dealing with depression. You know, I'm not trying to use, but it has been happening. I want to go back to a treatment program. And it was a secular treatment program back home. And I decided to do a month of outpatient. During that time, I knew it wasn't right because all they did was try to load you up with more, drugs for depression, anxiety, anti-using things like Suboxone. And it just wasn't the answer. I thought it was. I wanted it to be the answer. I really did, because Ryan's way was the way I wanted to take, but it's not the way the Lord had for me. And just through that, it was obvious, because when I first got there, I used a couple times. I mean, because they let you get away with anything there. It's all about feelings, and it's not about how you feel all the time. It's about what the Lord wants from you and wants you to do. And I just kept trying to run away from that. I completed that program. I used the day after I completed the program. And then from there, it just went right back to the point where I was ready to die. My best friend recently just passed too from an OD. He died 4 months ago. I was seeing him the night that he died, I mean, it never stops. And then I was to the point, depression was so bad, I started to try to kill myself because I just couldn't take it anymore, especially after his death. The amounts were getting higher. The pain was still getting deeper. My parents came back from up north, and I just was sitting there, and I just looked horrible. Even my physique was just pale, and I looked terrible. And they're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I got to tell you guys something." And they instantly knew something was wrong because they've been down this road with me before many a times, many a times. I told them, I'm like, "Dad, I sold your guns. I tried to kill myself." And he, instead of being really angry, it was all concern. I think that hurt me the most because for once he didn't react in anger. It was out of fear and love, and it just tore me up so bad. I just couldn't believe it. I tried to shoot 5 syringes of heroin at one time. I've never done that before. I thought this has to do it. I was in my car. I passed out for 2 days. I woke up. I'm like, this is it. I can't. That's why I told my parents, and we decided to come to the mission because I was ready. And that was the best decision I've ever made, to come to the mission, because the Lord has been really working in my life. I mean, he's cleared out my house. When I first got to the mission, it was a whole entire culture change from what I was used to. It was shocking. I was really quiet and kind of, I don't want to say nervous, I guess you could say. I wanted to be here, and I needed to be here. I needed the Lord in my life. And it didn't take long for the Lord to come into my life. I mean, it was within a week. It was just like, wow. I just started reading the Word, praying every day, just doing what I was supposed to, taking care of myself again. It was just amazing how the Lord reveals things to me. I mean, it was amazing. For me, I didn't know really where to start. I would just kind of open up the Bible and read, which is great, and it worked for me a lot. But He put me on the pathway to really start, giving me guidance and leading and where to go. And how to learn things and where to look for things and how to interpret things, and it's been amazing, just the guidance itself. You get everything you need here with that. If you really let the program work, there's nothing that can stop you. There's really nothing that can stop you because the Lord works through you. I mean, you're untouchable at that point because the Lord is He's so graceful and amazing. I can't say it enough. I mean, the things I've learned and the way that He's taken me, it's just been amazing. I'm coming up on my graduation day. I can't believe how fast the time's gone. When I first got here, I thought this is going to take forever, but 3 months for me, it's been an amazing thing. When God's got you, time is not a thing. It's not an issue. What you can learn and what you see and what He wants you to learn and what you want to see, you're going to do that. And you just build from that. I have been. When I graduate, I'm going back home to my church family. I can't wait for that because I've been very far away from that. My church body's been praying for me every step of the way. I know they're excited to see me again. I actually have an opportunity to go work with my dad. He works for a pest control company. And then he said they have jobs, so when I come back, I get to do that because I have the licenses. I'm excited about that. So I got my dad on me so he can keep me in line, and I know the Lord will have me. And I get to, the best part about this is evangelizing through work. They allowed you to do that to a point. So I'm excited about that because you get to meet new people in all different situations. And I've been through a lot, so I know I can relate to a lot of people. And I know the Lord wants me to do this. I've never been so ready to do something in my life. So I'm ready to start my life over, but do it the right way. Not Ryan's way, but the Lord's way. And do what He wants me to do and have His light shine through me. To have a family again, to have a real job, to have cars, to get an apartment again, is really what I want. And I know the Lord, if I stay with the Lord, all these things are possible. One of the verses that I always turn to, that my father beat my head to, just to remind me how good things are on the side of Christ, is Matthew 33:6. But seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all of His righteousness will be added unto you. And it's unbelievable how true that is already, that as soon as I started seeking Christ, everything's been lifted for me. The cravings have been lifted for me. The stress, the depression, it's all gone. It's been amazing that as soon as you really try to seek the Lord, you have nothing to worry about. You can be going through the biggest trials and tribulations, and you can have peace through all that when you seek the Lord's face. And I'm learning to do that every step of the way, and it's been just amazing. It really has.